Hello and welcome to a brand new installment of Nintendo News Report for Nintendo Direct Day, September 13th, 2018. I am Donald Terriel. Alex, unfortunately, had a medical issue, could not make it tonight, and Zach has also had a medical issue and could not make it. So we filled the gap with three additional Nintendo News reporters. Our regular Justin Brube is here. Hello, Justin.
Up, everybody.
Yes, and also joining us from historic New Jersey is the new boss, same as the old boss, Neal Ronahan.
Hey, everybody.
Neal,
How's everybody doing? My baby boy was in a Mario knit outfit around the Direct, so like that was cool.
I wonder if we should call you the comeback kid this week after Sunday, but
yeah, can we just all talk about how Aaron Rodgers is amazing? And also, I'll probably be crying on Sunday when they play the Vikings because the Vikings are very good. Hopefully, I'll be able to listen to this on Sunday and be like, he wasn't as optimistic, but we'll see. The Vikings are very good this year.
Yes, and then as we work our way across the country, a newcomer to Nintendo News Report, making his debut, and long-time reviewer Xander Morningstar.
Hi,
Hello, Xander.
hello.
Between Xander and Niles, I sense a Fire Emblem Fates theme here tonight.
Yeah, no one ever made that comparison until that darn game came out, and now it's Xander, like from Fire Emblem. I'm like, yeah, yeah, or like the Smash Brothers announcer. But okay,
Yeah,
that's cool.
true.
That guy's got a good voice.
yeah.
Yes, he does.
I don't know. I kind of prefer him when he's telling people to show him his true form. Yes. And finally,
go ahead.
oh, sorry, just going to introduce our final guest here tonight from the great state of California, Mr. Brian Rose. Hello, Brian.
Hi, what's going on, everybody?
Yes. So we've got a lot to cover here. So I don't know which of these is bigger. So I'm going to leave this up to the chat room to decide. We can either talk about the two new games that were announced today, or we can talk about the Nintendo Switch Online. I mean, personally, myself, I'm leaning more toward the online just because the hue and cry on it has been so strong for the last 21 months. But I am more. But I'll leave it up to you guys. And we already have a vote for the Final Fantasy games.
Actually, as we wait for the chat, what did they show of the online that made us more excited for it today?
They showed the fact that they've managed to find the one NES game that they haven't re-released in the last 15 odd years that they've been re-releasing NES games regularly.
Yeah, I guess it's a pro wrestling. That's the
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's more up Brian and I's alley, but we'll see.
Yes, exactly. I have played it a handful of times, but I haven't played it in like forever. So I'm like really excited to finally like just sit down and play it for a long time, just have it ingrained in my memory. It's really cool.
I think I've ever played that, but Neal, is that one of the ones you said you were going to sell to me?
Actually, yeah, it is. Yeah, I have a copy of Pro Wrestling on NES that I was going to sell to Justin. I think I made this deal right before I had a baby, and since then I haven't seen Justin.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in a while.
But yeah, so I'm excited for it because I'm kind of excited to play NES games on my Switch, and I'm a little embarrassed to admit that because it's like totally not exciting on one hand, and on another hand, like it's really cool. And if you do think about it, so we have 20 games on day one, which is next Tuesday, and then we'll have 3 games added each month. So we will have 29 games 29 games after ostensibly 4 months. It means if you're paying $20 a year for it, throwing out all of the online stuff, which we can talk about more of those details in the near future, but that means you're basically paying $20 a year for minimum 29 games. Which, yes, you're not going to get to keep them after you stop paying for it. But if you were to buy all of these games on Virtual Console, granted, I don't think a lot of us are buying soccer on Virtual Console. That's 29 times 5, which is a number that I can't think of off the top of my head.
145 bucks.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's either $145 to get all of these games with Nintendo's overpriced Virtual Console prices, or spend $20 and you have this, and the library hopefully continues to grow. And I think 3 games a month is not a lot. I think that's a drip feed. I think like 1 a week is the bare minimum, and I don't think they're doing that. But still, at face value, like I'll totally play Mario Brothers 1 and 3 on Switch. We are going to be doing some ridiculous NWR staff tournament since all these games can be played online with the multiplayer games. So maybe like I'm not thrilled to play Dr. Mario online with people. Actually, you know what? That could be fun. But like playing ice hockey and Tech Mobile online with people is kind of amazing because both of those games still really hold up.
We'll have to sort out house rules about the use of Bo Jackson later on, I think.
Yeah, I did. So I spent a night with the NES Classic. I was actually down. I was going to see the Packers play the Washington Redskins a couple years ago, and my brother and my brother-in-law and I played a lot of Tech Mobile for like hours, and that game is weirdly deep. Like, not a lot to it, but man, does that hold up. Like it's a lot of rock paper scissors stuff, but it's a buttload of fun. So let's play some NES games, fellas.
I think something important to remember also is that Nintendo never retracted this, but early on they said SNES games would be coming to this online service.
Yeah, and those were what, $8 a shot on PC?
And I want to say,
and
did they talk about any games that would come into, or was it just nebulous SNES games?
I think that originally they had said it would just be any SNES games, and then when they started trickling out games, it was always NES stuff.
Yeah,
they kept talking about SNES. Like the last time they talked about that was before they delayed the online into 2018.
Yeah, I think that was at the pre-release, like the big unveil. Like I want to say, like because our fearless host of NNR, Alex Kalafi, was at that event, and I think that like him and Jared, and I think they were the only 2 people who were there. Justin,
was there.
Okay, Justin, you were there too. But I want to say that that's what they were saying. That was their word then, was NES and Super Nintendo games, and then that changed. But then the online stuff was added, so I don't know. They'll come eventually.
Yeah. So
someone in the chat is saying, will N64 games be coming to the online service? Not for a long time.
Yeah, they have
Super
never.
Nintendo needs to get there first.
3 games a month. 3.
Yeah.
And
3 games.
And include
out a while.
And they're including third-party stuff in this, so it's not like we're not going to run out of Nintendo stuff eventually, because they're going to be 1 month when we get Mega Man 2 on there. It's going to be banging.
Well, it might be a while for that because they don't want to cannibalize sales of their collection.
Yeah, that is weird. For some of the games that have already come out via other collections, will they be available here?
I think they will eventually, but they're going to be held back for a while, and it will be drip fed. So
yeah,
once sales are like really dried up for those, I feel like then they'll be like, oh look, now you can play like Mega Man 5. Have fun.
Yeah. So, and the other thing that seemed to come out from this, because they've talked about the save data, they've talked about that before, they've talked about the online play, the voice chat app, which apparently includes Mario Kart now, which okay.
And I think it also I want to say ARMS was shown off in that, and Mario Tennis.
Yeah.
So aside from that, they detailed a couple of the special offers. If you have a 1-year membership, which I'm pretty sure that's what most people are going to end up going with, considering it's $20, you'll get some Splatoon gear. But then they showed off the ability to purchase a set of NES Joy-Cons for $60 US. Which, what's the going rate for a pair of Joy-Cons for you guys? What, 80?
80.
Yeah. I think I've seen sales for like 70.
I got some by accidental price drop at Walmart for 25.
I was sad. I missed out on that. I almost started going to like Walmarts far away, but then I nipped that in the bud.
Yeah, I went to Walmart and grabbed the 3 I saw. I'm like, I'll take all 3. Why not?
But yeah, so $60 for these NES controllers that you can only use when undocked, only work with the NES games, and can only be ordered through NES Switch Online or through the Nintendo Switch Online.
And start shipping in December.
That's nice.
You'll have 29 games to choose from then.
Yeah, I'm just sad I can't use this on Mega Man 11.
I know, right? That seems like the perfect game to use it on.
But I mean, it's kind of sad that this is the first Joy-Con thing that's connected to the Switch that isn't made by Hori, that has a decent D-pad, but it also is missing like 4 buttons and an analog stick.
Yeah, like I understand why you can't use it when it's docked, because like then that wouldn't work.
That's kind of awkward. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa! I think you should be able to use the left one while it's docked.
Yeah, you're still missing buttons, like a lot of them.
So
there's a
playing an NES game.
D-pad, start, select, and A and B. That's all you have.
Which, well, granted, I mean, you actually technically you have an additional button. It's just you're missing the biggest thing you're missing is the analog stick.
Yeah.
So that's
how
why
will
these
you
things
move?
That's why this only works when it's playing NES games undocked, I guess.
Now, the Famicom version also got announced in Japan, so they're getting their own. But the Famicom controllers are a little bit different because Player 2 doesn't have the start and select. Instead, they have the
Dustin, could you buy a second Switch online account with your Japanese account and then therefore get those available?
I'm sure they won't ship them outside of Japan.
Sure.
That's just the type of Nintendo.
We
But I
have
really
friends there.
want them. Yeah, I really want to get those. But my question is, the second controller has a microphone and like a volume slider on the controller. I want to know if the volume slider actually changes the volume on the Switch if you move that up and down, because that would be
really
amazing.
cool. Yeah. that joke would be worth the price of admission almost.
I don't know. Maybe I just wanted to use my NES Classic controller, or we could just do as the chat room suggested and just use 8-bit do everything. But well, we'll see. I'm probably not going to buy these, but I really don't like. I'm not as NES wasn't my system anyway. I was more of a Super
Okay,
Nintendo
Donald.
guy.
It seems like you're not serious about the Nintendo Report Staff NES Online League, because I think that anyone in the Nintendo Report Staff NES Online League is going to have NES controllers.
Well, I mean, if we're starting this when the thing launches, well, nobody's going to have the controllers anyway. They're not shipped until December.
I'm gonna keep referencing this to all the people watching. Like, there's been this. It's a joke that's gone too far. Where get hyped next week. We're gonna have some video coverage of us using the online ability in these NES games and doing some sort of league and/or tournament. I'm really excited for it. I have notes that are open, sorting the games into what can be used and what can't for 2-player shenanigans.
There's a couple more things I want to talk about with these controllers. And the first is, Donald, we don't know if this D-pad's going to be any good. Maybe Nintendo screws it up again. Second of all, it says you can only order one of these per Nintendo Switch Online account. So are all those people teaming up for their family accounts screwing themselves over?
Oh,
yeah, that's true.
Ooh.
You might be right. Yeah.
Oh, well, if my brother's watching, hope you want those for Christmas.
It's okay.
That's just something that popped in my head that I haven't heard anybody talking about anywhere.
I would think I mean, because the way the family account setup is supposed to work, my understanding of it at least is you give like one person's paying for it, but you're giving the membership to an individual account. So like if my roommate, for instance, wanted to buy one of these, I'm sure he could.
It reminds me, the family account reminds me of, I'm on a Google Play family account with my brother and his family, where like he pays a little extra. He is basically like 6 members in his family that there can be, and I just have access to like his content. And I think it's the same kind of thing where like technically you're all supposed to be in the same household, but like you don't have to be.
Yeah, and Scenario is saying that child accounts can't order the controllers, but because like, are they specifically set up as child accounts? Like, are they blocked out of the online? I'm assuming we'll find all this out next week when the online service actually launches.
It's going to be a disaster, and actually, I think that the disaster might not be the online, but people trying to order the damn controllers. That's going to be.
I can already see that.
Why aren't these sold in stores? This is stupid. Like, I understand
because
we want to make a
they can only
benefit.
be used if you have the online account. They are functionally useless unless you're playing the NES games online.
They sold the Animal Crossing Wii Speak in stores, and how many?
But Wii Speak can actually be used with other games. This can't.
I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it right
Good
now.
point.
You'll
I
be
just
able.
the conduit.
Yeah.
It sounded like I was underwater.
You'll be able. I'm going to predict you'll be able to get a bundle in stores at say GameStop by February that'll have the controllers and a year's membership for like $80
That's
or
not
85 if they want to be real dicks about it.
I just don't want to charge them. Like watching them slide those on the Switch dock, like that was a cavalcade of pain for me.
It's beautiful.
It was not. No.
It was weird looking.
It was a big brick. That's okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll have more on the Switch Online when it launches. I'm sure by next week we'll all be swearing at it. So we'll stick a pin in that and come back to it, as I said, next week. So let's get into the games that were announced, such as we have an Animal Crossing for Switch. Yes. We know nothing bar that it exists, and it's 2019.
Tom Nook's going to be in it.
Yeah, he looks nice.
He did.
Tom Nook about to take all of us into bankruptcy. Well, all of you guys.
I know.
How great would it be if you can unlock Amiibo Festival within Animal Crossing?
Awesome. I played Amiibo Festival. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Are you referencing that you could play some of the Amiibo Festival mini games in New Leaf?
Well, that is true. I suppose they could do that, but that would be quite the downfall going from like original Punch-Out to Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival as the included games.
There's a quality disparity there.
Well, I mean, some of those NES games are pretty bad, but they're not Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival bad.
If I had to choose between soccer and Amiibo Festival, I would choose soccer.
About bad NES games, in my experience, is even when they're bad, they're laughably bad. So I still have just like an enjoyment level, and once you get the Super Nintendo, I don't feel like that carries over anymore.
Yeah, as games get more complex, it's not as cute when they're really bad. like it's cute when like you like break open a janky NES game because like you're like, all right, I spent 5 minutes with it and I saw all of it. But when it's like, oh, it's all in 3D and there's an intro cutscene, like that's more of a time investment. It's not as fun.
Yeah.
So, in the run-up to that announcement of Animal Crossing exists, we also learned that Isabelle is now in Smash. I still don't know if she's an Echo Fighter of the Villager.
She's not. She's not an Echo Fighter. She is like Dr. Mario or Luigi. Yeah.
You know what was my favorite thing about that is I was on Twitter, but I didn't see the reaction to Isabelle. So I was thinking like, I bet people are seeing this and are like freaking out. There's no Animal Crossing announced. And then like right after that ends, they start up with Tom Nook, and then people are like, oh, I'm betting like people freaked out the minute as Isabelle was announced, and they thought that was the end of the direct or something.
I thought it was such a good troll.
Yes,
it was so good.
It was a better troll than that King K. Rool stuff because like you knew like, oh, they're not going to just tease this and not give it to us.
Yeah.
And then we all thought Tom Nook was an Echo Fighter of Isabelle.
Yeah, they did get me to a point where like maybe they're not actually going to announce Animal Crossing. Maybe just Tom Nook's also in Smash. And then as that scene went on, I was like, this kind of looks a little different than the Isabelle stuff. Like, I think this might be a new Animal Crossing. And just the slow, methodical, like with the stupid gibberish behind it, being like, oh, when you're tired of camping and smashing, you can come back home.
Yeah. I thought once he talked about coming back home, I thought, okay, yeah, there's new Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
This is supposed to have functionality with the app, right?
I would hope so, but
all we know is that it is an Animal Crossing game. It's coming to Switch, and it will be out in 2019.
Oh, so wait, we don't know if this is a core Animal Crossing. This could be
it's a core Animal Crossing.
Like, if it's not a core Animal Crossing, then they screwed up.
Yeah. If it's not a core Animal Crossing, what the hell have they been doing since the Plaza?
I know.
And no, Happy Home Designer does not count for this.
Yeah.
Oh,
I did Amiibo whatever for the New Leaf.
It's going to be Amiibo Festival too.
I still
Or-
think
or
Tom
that-
could be an Ecto fighter for Isabelle in Smash.
Yeah, he could be like a skin because like she only has 2 outfits, right? The summer and the winter.
No, I think he has one for each season.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Isn't
right.
wait? Isn't Tom Nook an assist trophy already?
Is he?
He's in the final Smash for Villager.
Oh,
Yeah.
is he still though? Have we seen that for sure?
I believe so. I think they showed that in her final Smash or her entry. I thought I saw him. But yeah, I think it'd be cool if like they did the Koopaling thing with Isabelle. They had like I don't know, KK
Tom
Slider
Nook.
or Tom Nook. Yeah,
Yeah, I know Alex would want KK in there, so
Yeah.
probably throwing something
That'd be
as
cool.
monitor, throwing something as monitor right now, probably. But yeah, so Isabelle and Smash. I kind of figured there'd be one more Smash reveal, but I guess they're probably just saving that for the final Smash Direct of the year, which will probably be like early November or something
Yeah.
before the game.
Yeah,
comes
we-
out.
We've
I'll
been
let
talking
Pokemon
about
as
that
well.
across the team. Like people talking about how like, oh, is there going to be another direct? Like I don't know if it'll just be a Smash specific one, or maybe it'll be like this, where like over the course of a month we get a Smash Direct and another full on Direct. But I think that the month of October might be a little quiet, and then November we'll probably get like a Smash Direct, and
Is
then maybe there will be another Direct too. But I think you do week before Pokemon Let's Go,
Yes.
because as Smash logic dictates, we're probably going to see a new Pokemon, likely from the previous generation, which would be a good thing to announce right before Let's Go comes out. Because then it like kind of you could do like another thing like this, where like you're like, oh, it's a Pokemon Let's Go secret surprise. It's this character in Smash, and then maybe that also like finishes out the couple. Like I still feel like Ken from Street Fighter has to be an Echo Fighter, right?
Yeah.
It has
Like-
to be.
He's the Echo Fighter. He's where the term comes from.
I'm worried because at the on the character slot, I think Isabelle makes 68, and so it's like, do they stop at like a clean 70 or do they keep going?
No,
There's
they
nothing
stop at a
about
clean
that.
69, dude.
Nice.
There's not a clean number anywhere in there because you start counting like alternate costumes. You can play as Nana. You can all the Koopalings.
All right,
The Ecto
well,
fighters don't count as a number, which is stupid to me because they are a different character. Everybody counted them as separate characters till now. So the actual
Yeah.
you have to actually go in and like figure out how many characters are actually playable in this game. And then when there's male and female versions, you gotta have like
Oh,
an
no.
asterisk next to those.
I just want the one more Fire Emblem character just so the internet completely melts.
I could see. So we're at 68 right now.
yes.
I could see maybe 2 more newcomers to make it 70, and then we have a couple more Echo Fighters. Like that's I don't think we have a lot more newcomers. I think like 1 to 2, and then some Echoes. Like
Geno.
because what we're looking at,
And please.
we have Ridley, Inkling, K. Rool, Simon, and then Isabelle.
Richter.
So we have
And,
five. Well, I mean five newcomers, and then we have a
Got it.
bunch of Echoes. So we have 5 newcomers. Like, I mean, if you go by what Sakurai says, which he could just be screwing with us, who knows? But he said like not to expect a lot of new fighters, and I feel like if we start to get like 8, 9, 10, that's a lot of newcomers.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's proportional. I mean, five
Yeah.
characters out of what will end up being a roster somewhere around 70. That's
Yeah.
not very much.
You can make a football team. Oh my! Let's make a 53-man roster of Smash Bros. Characters.
and you are.
All right, everybody, stay tuned for tomorrow, where I'm going to stay up late tonight and come up with a 53-man depth chart.
We could do like
Or
that Smash
other
Down
football
mode,
team.
you know?
While we're on the topic of Smash, you should talk about the bundle.
Yeah. So there's, in the things Justin cares about category, there's going to be a Smash Ultimate Bundle. It comes out on November 2nd for some reason. And to get into the NPDs for that month or for
Well,
October?
it's gonna be the bundle, the GameCube controller, and the adapter. All a
Yeah.
month in advance.
And
So-
gray Joy-Cons with some tape on them.
And a download code that doesn't even work until December 7th.
the best part about that is people be like, "Oh, I threw it out. I thought it was gonna just be on there." You know, there's gonna be so
Oh,
many
no.
calls.
Yeah.
Oh
That's
God.
pretty bad.
But yeah, if anybody's looking to buy a Switch itself with no Joy-Con, the Joy-Con grip and a charging adapter, let me know.
I think Geno's going to be playable because of like Cloud being in it, and then with all that Final Fantasy stuff they showed off this direct, it kind of, I don't know, made me feel like Square Enix is.
Geno or is it Geno?
It's Geno. Brian, I think we've talked about this before. We were both idiots as children and called him Geno for our
I think
childhood.
we have, but now it's like ingrained in my brain, and I can't say Geno. It's
It's okay.
Like,
When I played
it's too weird
Paper
for me.
Mario for the first time.
It's like people who say SNES.
Yeah.
No, it's SNES.
No, like the name is Geno.
Okay.
Like,
I know a Geno.
Geno is just what we said when we were children and heard no one else speak it out loud.
I know it deep down, but I can't accept it.
I know. It's like how I when I first read Harry Potter, Hermione was like Hermione in my head because I was
Yeah.
12 and stupid.
I think that was the same way, actually.
And unfortunately,
See, we're on the same page here.
unfortunately, crap quarterbacks have ruined the name Geno for me forever.
Yeah. Sorry, Geno Smith, R.I.P. No, he's still around. I think he might be a backup of the Giants. I don't know. But anyway, I think that another Square character. So all the third parties, I think, if we count Bayonetta as a Sega character, I think every third party except for Square has at least two. So I would not be surprised if we see another Square third party character. And I hate to say it, but like outside of Geno,
I mean, Sora.
who else could it even? Yeah, like Geno or Sora. But Sora feels like as much as Geno is.
You're inviting Disney in on the conversation at that point.
Yeah, like Geno is a complicated licensing to begin with. Sora seems like a different level.
Yeah, I think if they want to reflect the history of Nintendo, I think you go Erdrick. I think if you want to piss everybody off, you go Lightning.
Yeah. Like Erdrick feels like too much of a reach. I mean, there's always the hope amongst hopes that Chrono could show up, but I don't. That's another one where I think it's
he was a Meat Fighter costume, wasn't he? Because so was King K. Rool and Chrom and Geno. I thought
Geno was. I don't think Chrono was.
I thought he was. Okay.
No.
I
think some Virtual Fighter
there
guys.
There are some out there me outfits
Mm-hmm.
from Smash Brothers for Wii U.
There was a Monster Hunter one, wasn't there, for like the hunter itself?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
That said, Monster Hunter is a stage, and Rathalos is the assist trophy / boss. Like, they could incorporate other people by just having stages. Like, I was wondering if they'd ever do something from Bethesda or even Ubisoft. I'm sure they could fit in a stage, but
a Starlink stage where the Star Fox team randomly interferes.
Yeah, or like Rabid Peach and all those characters, and I don't know, or Rabbids.
Hey, we could do this in ancient Greece. Assassin's Creed Odyssey is coming to Switch in Japan as a download.
Yeah.
That works really well for Resident Evil 7.
From people that I've talked to in Japan, it was okay. It was unplayable, but I mean, I know Odyssey is supposed to be more of an RPG, but it's still an action game. That's going to be very funny to see how that plays out on Switch, especially since the only way you can buy it is to pay full price, and you only get the game for 2 years anyway.
And on top of that, I know this future's like cloud gaming and all that, but to me, it's like it's already tough enough when I try to do that on the PlayStation 4 with a wired connection. With a wireless connection, that sounds like hell. Honestly, it doesn't sound fun.
I think it really only works well on a wired connection, and also you have to be in Japan.
Yeah, and that's the only place they are doing it. But I mean, Yves Guillemot has been banging on about how game streaming is going to be the future. So why not, instead of trying to go through whatever it takes to get Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which looks amazing, in fairness, to run on the Switch, then just do it as a cloud farming thing.
So here's some dumb samples from the DLC Me outfits, just because I think we forgot. Takamaru, Ashley from WarioWare, Gil from the Tower of Druaga, Tails, Knuckles. Let's see. Going to
a lot of those have been turned into something in Smash now, like Ashley and Knuckles. Those are assist trophies, right?
Yeah.
Chocobo, Geno. Let's see. Bundle 4 has Viridi, Toad, Hunters, and Rathalos.
Wasn't Abe Lincoln one of them?
No, I think you could just make an Abe Lincoln looking one.
Yeah.
There's a business suit. Yeah. What else? The Hiyahachi, Lloyd Irving.
Tales of Vesperia is coming. Maybe we get the main characters.
Yeah, we got Sukapon, right? Was he a fighter costume?
Yeah, he's an assist trophy now.
We also have Crom, K. Rool. So like a lot of these Mii outfits turned into characters.
I think Gina's coming, man.
Mega Man.exe, Zero, Akira, who I think is
Virtua Fighter.
Virtua Fighter. I think Jackie is Jackie also from Virtua Fighter.
Right? Yeah.
There's some wacky stuff there. So
I also want Vault.
Also Dunban.
Fine.
Well, he's not coming, but
Yeah.
I'm still sticking to my list of characters I want. I really, but let me just say that Ganon. Why isn't he in Smash Brothers? Why isn't just Ganon?
Because Ganondorf is.
They're not.
We don't have Baby Mario as a character.
Thank God.
No, but we have Dr. Mario.
Could you imagine the baby characters and like they're each echoes of each other?
Come on, Ganon with the trident would be completely different.
I'm glad that the only baby that we have in this game is Pichu.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, fair. I want Vault Boy. I want like a Bethesda rep because they've been pretty cool recently, but I'd be all right.
I want BJ. If we're gonna do that, let's go BJ Blazkowicz.
Yeah, that too.
He was on Super Nintendo, so why not?
Go for it.
I'd rather Doom Guy over BJ.
Or if they did Skyrim, I think this idea has been said, but they could do a character and then like the skins of the different races. And you could have shouts. I don't know. But Vault Boy could act like Mr. Game & Watch.
All right. So the thing that actually kicked off the Direct, even before they went into the 3DS stuff, which we'll touch on briefly later, Luigi's Mansion 3.
Yeah.
Yes.
It looks so good.
Yeah, when this started, I was like, wow, this looks too good blown up on my screen here. And
This isn't the 3DS game. What's going on here?
I'm like, well,
No, but it's the same art style.
But one cool thing I did notice in that short gameplay video is there were pizza boxes littered around, and the pizza boxes said since 1983, which was Luigi's debut year.
Yeah.
As on Game & Watch, not the arcade game, by the way.
I'm excited. Being a younger person, like GameCube was my first console, and Luigi's Mansion has kind of been there since my early days. So I'm very nostalgic for that series. I know a lot of people were like, "Oh, why is there no Mario at launch?" But for me, I was like, "What a terrifying Luigi game! Like, this is the coolest thing." So it's exciting that that series is very healthy right now, and can't wait.
Make me feel old because I remember playing Luigi's Mansion at my first E3 2001, and the controls are a little different.
Luigi's Mansion was always a great concept, but just a really bad timing for when it first came out. That's not the kind of thing you launch the GameCube with. But I'll keep my eye on it. I'm interested, but I'm more disappointed that now this means that we're not getting Metroid Prime Federation Force HD.
Oh yeah, that must be out.
Yeah, I'm assuming because they never revealed who the developer is in these things, but I'm gonna go ahead and guess that Next Level is developing this.
Probably it's a very similar design to what the Dark Moon game was as far as what everything looks like. So probably. Also, there appears to be one mansion this time because behind the logo, there's one big mansion and it's more of a tower. So I'm wondering if they return to the mission-based stuff, if each floor could be like its own chapter in the game. I don't know.
Yeah, that's I didn't even notice that. That's a good catch. So we'll see how that goes when it comes out.
I'm just hoping in the build-up to this, they release Arcade Archives, Luigi's Mansion, the arcade game.
Oh yeah, that would be incredible.
I forgot would be an arcade game.
I have actually witnessed that game being played, and it's interesting, but I'm not sure how well it would play on the Switch.
I beat it.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I went to Dave & Buster's. I'm like, we're beating this game.
Yeah, I witnessed that game being beat at PAX East, or at least played at PAX East last year with Neal and Zach. So that was a fun night, actually.
As far as me and Luigi's Mansion, I ignored it when it first came out on the GameCube, and I didn't have any interest in Dark Moon, but I'm willing to give Luigi's Mansion a shot on the 3DS. I know it's coming out next month, actually.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll give it a shot. I mean, I know everybody's excited for it. I'm kind of like, okay, we'll see. But yeah, I'll give it a shot. It's never like really grabbed my interest, but everybody talks about it in such positive fashion. I think I gotta at least try it.
And it's so weird to me that people do, because when that game came out, nobody that I knew liked Luigi's Mansion on GameCube at all. It was like,
I wish you would have met me as a kid.
it was like, this is like a tech demo, and everybody was done with it in like 6 or 7 hours, whatever it was.
It looked kind of cool, but to me, it was like, oh, I should just wait a few months for Smash Brothers Melee. That was my impression.
It was like a couple of weeks back then, but yeah, I mean, I got Rogue Squadron, I got Luigi's Mansion, I think I got Monkey Ball, Wave Race, and then Smash Brothers, and like Luigi's Mansion was just over so fast.
I think it was one of the worst things. I mean, well, not the worst things about the GameCube launch, but from that Nintendo lineup around the launch, it wasn't the best game.
No,
but
it's a very short game too.
Yeah, I think it looks really nice. I don't think it overstays its welcome. I think it still kind of looks nice even on GameCube.
It is, yeah.
And like I think it's a fun game, and I think the thing that makes me happy with sequels for it, and I really like Dark Moon, but I can see where people are coming from where they didn't like the mission-based structure. It worked for me. But it's a concept that I wish they would have explored further. So it makes me really happy to see Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon and now Luigi's Mansion 3. And I'll probably play through Luigi's Mansion on 3DS. Like, I really like that game. It is short. It is mostly a tech demo, but it's kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Well, speaking of the 3DS version, I'd like to play through it co-op with somebody. But
yeah, that looked
really
good.
Gonna happen. That looks cool.
Yeah.
Weird green texture on Luigi was odd, but yeah, it definitely like made me want to play it on the Switch. Having grown up with it, I'm like, wow, it's weird because I firmly believe that like the GameCube one still looks really well made, and it almost looks downgraded on the 3DS. But the co-op stuff was really cool. That was kind of a thing that like if I had that years ago, I would have been bundles of joy. But yeah, it's weird with Dark Moon though. I really enjoyed that when it came out. But the mission-based structure, and then also I didn't think it was very scary, and it's weird. I mentioned earlier that I grew up with the first one, and so there was an element of, wow, this is a really scary game for me, even though like retrospectively it's not Resident Evil. But then when Dark Moon came out, they kind of changed how the ghosts operated. They were much more like the Rabbids or the Minions. They were very playful, and so there wasn't really a big threat when I was playing, but that also might have been because I was like 10 years older. So I don't know. I kind of liked the original style of how they had like fear with Luigi, even with that Castlevania Smash Brothers trailer. That felt much more in line with how the first one was than what Dark Moon went with. And so I kind of hope that there's a little of that in the third one, although it did look a lot more like Dark Moon. But again, I'm not going to complain because I'm just happy the series is healthy.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, and that's due out next year. Like I want to see more.
You and me both.
So, also coming out next year and starring a Mario brother, New Super Mario U Deluxe, which will include New Super Luigi U and has 2 new playable characters. And if you don't think it's going to be you don't think it's $60, I got a bridge to sell you in Brooklyn.
I like that there's, what is it? It's Peachette.
Yeah, I'm really confused by that character because in the Super Mario Brothers games where it's multiplayer, everybody has like the same abilities, but it looks like when Peachette gets this power up specific to her, maybe. Or maybe I'm not even quite sure.
It's straight up Peach. Like they took the Peach from Mario.
No, it's not Peach. It's Peachette.
Yeah,
so
I know.
It's like some doppelganger that could actually be an Echo fighter for Peach in Smash, along with
It's
Better
Pink
Gold
Gold
Peach.
Peach is what it is.
That's what I wanted it to be. They could have tied the lore in, but they had to create Peachette.
Yeah, we could have like actually understood where Pink Gold Peach came from. But,
Yeah, we could
but now
know
we
her
have a character
backstory.
that has like these special abilities. So I'm wondering, does everybody get like some secret thing that gives them a special ability or not? Because
No, I think that's just a Peach stand-in. Like I think that they just took the physics of what they made with Peach from Mario Run and then gave it to Toadette.
Yeah.
but then it gives that character like an advantage that the others don't have. So
I mean, Nabbit is like a throwaway character because he doesn't take damage.
yeah,
so.
but that was like a bonus character because you still have Blue Toad, Mario, and Luigi.
No, Blue Toad is not in that game.
Or yellow.
Blue
Yellow
Toad is
Toad.
bye.
Oh, isn't there the
Blue
yellow
Toad
Toad
was
still?
done.
One of them.
Yellow.
Yeah, yellow
you,
Toad.
Yeah.
You get the yellow toad. So
Yeah, whatever. So what I'm saying
Blue
is
Toad's in
the
Smash.
3 of the 4 characters, and I'm not counting Nabbit because that's like the
Yeah.
the cheap
extra
character from
yeah.
Luigi U.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so it's just like, well, why does one get special abilities and the others don't? I don't understand.
It is weird that it's a new power up, and they'll probably market it like that, kind of like they did with like Funky Mode. But ultimately,
But
it's
Nabbit's
like
the funky mode.
Yeah, I don't know. That's weird. You're right.
I don't understand what they're going for, and I hope we learn more before it comes out.
Well, we got 3 months because it comes out January 11th. So
So if Toad gets that power up, does he turn into Toadette?
Toad evolved into Toadette, evolved into Peachette.
No, he turns into Waluigi yet.
God. Okay, yeah. So we know that they're going to keep the Wii U port train going, but I honestly figured this was coming out sooner than what it was. Like I know a lot of the pre-direct scuttlebutt was that this game was going to be out before the end of the year.
That's
No, I suppose you
Nice
can't really
happened.
trust. Yeah. Well, I guess they figure they have enough of a lineup this fall, and they got what in 6 weeks they've got World Ends With You, Diablo Collection, which we talked about today, Dark Souls, and Pokemon. So there goes all my time anyway.
Yeah, and Mario's got 2 games coming out with Super Mario Party and Smash, so it's not like that franchise isn't going to be represented going into the holiday.
Yeah. Also, I do have to ask, when are we getting the Super Princess Peach powers into a game?
Oh boy. Oh dear.
Not for a while.
Yeah.
Boy.
And I suppose the final major announcement here is that apparently Square and Nintendo all is forgiven because we're getting pretty much every Final Fantasy game that's come out, I want to say, in the last 5 years on at least
Everything that wound up on the PS4, pretty much.
Yeah, we've got the Final Fantasy 15 Pocket, which we talked about last week. That's out right now, and it's also in the 40% sale that they had on the other platforms is on Switch. We're getting World of Final Fantasy, an enhanced edition in November. They're remaking a Chocobo's Mystery Dungeon for some damn fool reason. I'm not a roguelike fan. I think we've established that. And then next year, let's see, we get Crystal Chronicles Remastered, Final Fantasy 12 Zodiac Age, Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 9, and Final Fantasy 10 and 10-2. Yes. So that is way too much Final Fantasy, and somewhere Hiroshi Yamauchi is powering Nintendo with how fast he's spinning in his grave.
You know, right? Oh, man, I imagine once Cloud was announced for Smash Brothers that we would get Final Fantasy 7 eventually. But now that it's actually happened, now that it's announced, it just feels very weird because that's the Final Fantasy that wasn't on Super Nintendo or on N64. I think it was announced very early.
One, right? They haven't like remade that yet.
The Final Fantasy 7. I mean,
I've never played Final Fantasy 7, so I've heard that's everyone's
There's
favorite.
a remastered edition on PS4, and they're supposed to remake it, but it's like I have no idea. I guess you would say it's still in development.
It is the Final Fantasy VII remake was announced basically when the concept was approved, and it has gone through at least 2 different reboots since then. So I don't think that game is coming out on this console generation or the next one, in all honesty, if they're going to remake the whole game. Because they talked about doing it as an episodic game, I think, in 2015, but I don't even know if that's still
I remember a few weeks after that, they said it was episodic.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, for the full game, I don't expect to see it in this generation anymore. At the very least, we won't see it until after Kingdom Hearts 3, and I'm not even sure if they'll work on that after.
How much do you
and
think that it'll
It
run
seems very far away.
the Final Fantasy VII on Switch? Any price on that?
based on the price of the comparable version on PS4, it's probably going to be $20,
Okay.
which because the way like World of Final Fantasy was a full retail game. Final Fantasy 7 and 9 were like $15-$20 downloads. 10.10.2 and 12 HD were both, I believe, $50 US.
Okay.
So
I think so.
yeah, although the storage issues on the Switch are probably going to come up again, especially with 10 and 10.2, because they're probably because those games individually were 4 gigs on the Vita, and if they're going to have the higher resolution graphics on the Switch, I could easily see this being one of those you get one cart and you get a download code for 10.2, because they've done that before.
I can definitely see that.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't think the weirdest part about Final Fantasy VII coming to Switch is not that it's coming; it's that it got dumped in the middle of, oh, by the way, we're bringing like 5 Final Fantasy games to the system, and they announced that in the span of a minute and a half.
I got chills when they announced it, even though I've never played it. I've just heard so many good things about it and how people are very nostalgic towards that game, and so I was like very excited for everyone who gets to play that game again. But yeah,
I think a lot of people have fond memories of 7 because it was like the big RPG that came out, like the first big RPG for the PlayStation.
Mhm.
And playing it a few years ago, I think when it came out on the PC, I really liked it, but it's archaic in some ways, especially in the story and translation. I've seen better translations.
Okay.
Yeah,
Square
this is the game that brought us this guy our sick. But the thing about 7 and 9, in addition to being not as expensive as the other ones, they also have options where you can cheat like a real MFer.
Yeah,
like you can
7 and 9. Yeah.
You can turn off. I think you can turn off random encounters and give yourself instant limit breaks.
Yeah, and 7, yeah, and I think there's an infinite money cheat. I'm not sure on that though. I think you can avoid random encounters. I think you can avoid getting damage, maybe.
Yeah.
There's a lot
Isn't
of
there an
that
item
kind of stuff.
duplication trick in that game I've heard about?
There is an item duplication trick. I don't know if I know there's there in the original. I've used it on the first PC version, the one that came on like 3 CDs.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that still works on the remastered version. I haven't tried it.
Yeah, so you could, in theory, duplicate an expensive item and just sell a bunch of them, right?
And most of these games aren't connected, right? I can probably play them and as they will be. Or...
The only final, like if a Final Fantasy game is explicitly numbered or is explicitly tied to another one, they will make it a sequel of that game. So 10 and 10.2, those are directly related, and same with Final Fantasy 4 and Final Fantasy 4 the After Years, which is basically a straight sequel.
Cool.
Same with the 13 series too.
Yeah, the 13 series, which at this point, I'm honestly surprised they haven't tried to put on Switch.
I'm not going to be sad if they don't.
I've wanted to sit down and play those games just to see how, like, if they are as big of a train wreck as everyone says they are. But at this point, I don't really use my PS3 for much other than being a Blu-ray player. That's where I have it.
I can only speak for 13, and I can tell you that 13 is no fun in any fashion. I don't like the music. I don't like any of the characters. I mean, the gameplay was okay. I don't like the story. I hate Hope. I hate everything. Not everything about the game, but there's a lot of stuff I don't like about 13. Just annoying stuff.
Yeah. Thankfully, my fears of The Thousand Year Door being remade on the 3DS did not come to fruition this evening. So I just want to thank everyone for their prayers. And
I have the feeling they might trot that one out again, but for whatever reason, they've wanted to get away from Paper Mario as an RPG series since about
if they do it,
2007.
at least they'll acknowledge that it's an RPG series. Like, that's the good part, and hopefully it'll be in 3D. But
with Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story coming out, I don't think they're going to put another RPG on 3DS. At least not in 2019. But when 3DS is still alive and kicking in 2020. You never know what can
In 1,000 years, like when the 3DS has been around for 1,000 years, they're gonna put the 1,000-year door out.
But 3DS can't go anywhere until I get my Persona Q2 in the West.
Okay.
But in terms of other things that are keeping the 3DS alive here, Kirby's Extra Epic Yarn, or actually make sure I got that title right here.
Correct. Kirby's Extra Epic Yarn.
Yeah, so sadly Neal had to deal with some baby things, or else I would just wind him up and let him go on this. But
Did you see the comments on that story?
I haven't checked the comments.
It's funny. I actually just played this game all the way to completion 3 days ago, and then I'm seeing it on the 3DS. So it's really weird.
Yeah,
well, I just want to say, PokePal148 replied in the talkback thread on that story and said, "I can't wait for Neal to give this one an 11 out of 10." The reply is, "Makes sense. There are extra modes to this one, so it should get the extra credit."
Well, we'll see how the 3D effect works, but I mean, based on Poochie and Yoshi's Woolly World, which I'm assuming this is using the same engine as, I think I won't be surprised if Neal gets the review, and I won't be surprised if it ends up in that territory. Although we have been kind of loose with the 10s this year, I will say.
Hey, I think Neal in the chat saying 12 out of 10. Kirby's Epic Yarn might be one of my favorite Kirby games. I think like that and Mass Attack are probably up there as my favorite Kirby games. So like,
yeah, it's a great.
I don't think I'd give it a 10, but it is a well-deserving game.
I wonder if it's going to have co-op, because I didn't see any of that in the trailer, but that was a kind of an important part for the funness of the first one. So,
well, it's okay if you don't have co-op, because now you can play as Meta Knight and King Dedede.
That's true. Yeah.
Although that seems to only be in like the optional modes now, that because I went back and rewatched the direct after my roommate got home, and it's like, huh, I thought these guys were in the main game. Oh well.
They were bosses. They weren't playable, but they had a bunch of mini games Kirby could play. But they were not involved. They were just the bosses. So, I don't know. It's interesting. Goodfeel has been very busy recently with Woolly World on 3DS and Wii U, and now the Crafty World game, and then Epic Yarn on 3DS.
Well, we don't know who's porting it to 3DS. They might not be that.
Right.
It could be Arzest for all we know.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have. Yeah, so we got the other 3DS announcements. There's going to be a Yokai Watch update on, I think, the 23rd. The aforementioned Mario and Luigi will be out the same day as New Super Mario U Deluxe, the 11th, and that was pretty much it. Although, like I said, Japan got the Persona Q2 look that we'll probably get sometime next year. Capcom Beat 'em Up Bundle, 7 of the finest Capcom brawlers, all coming to Switch and, as it turns out, other platforms on Tuesday. We might be doing the online league for more than just NES games. At the very least, we can do some.
It's called the NES League.
Final Fight.
You got 3. What? And is it going to be 3-player Final Fight? Like you're going to have? I'm assuming this is going to have all the characters because these are the arcade versions.
Was that talked about? Was that in the PR release?
They show, like, I haven't seen the PR myself, but they showed. I know they showed at least 2 people, and I believe I think it was Cody and Hagar that they had. So as long, Guy's my main for Final Fight. So as long as he's in there, I'm good. But the other ones, like, it's hard to tell them apart. But it's what, $20 US, so shouldn't be too bad. And the 4-player stuff is nice too. Mm-hmm. Game Freak is doing an RPG that isn't Pokemon. Working title Town. Very brief mention of it. Just showed off a little bit of the town interaction, because it's all going to take place in this one little village, and 2019. That's all we know about it.
It looks so early in development. I don't know what to think about it. Like, it looks like very early stuff. And I mean, I like the idea that Game Freak is doing something new, but I think for this, it'll take time to see like if this is something really cool or what.
It reminded me a lot of the mobile game coming out this month.
Mm-hmm.
The Dragalia Lost?
Yeah.
I talked to Neal about it earlier, and he said that he didn't realize it was an RPG until they said this is an RPG.
It looked like an RPG to me.
Mm-hmm.
And they showed a little bit of that system.
Yeah, I kind of got the this might be sacrilege. I kind of got the Fantasy Life vibe from it, but that may just be the fact that it's set in a pastoral village.
It reminded me of what's it, Nino Kanuni? Is that how you
Nino
say it?
Kuni.
Yeah, Nino Kuni. Okay, the art style reminded me of that. But if it's only in that one town, I hope that they mix up what the town looks like, whether it be like a day-night cycle or some seasons. Because if the whole game is just in that one town, which I think they said in the trailer,
Yeah.
that's a little, I don't know, concerning.
I'm not sure what to think of that. I mean, yeah, it sounds like it has the potential to be pretty boring if it's just in one town, but I'm optimistic to see how they handle that. Maybe it's like a very very big town. Maybe it can change. Maybe it's set in the past. Maybe time travel stuff.
I'd say that, but like Termina's clock town is like everyone's favorite town, and like that town doesn't change very much. So
No, it's only got 3 days.
yeah, fair.
But and Game Freak's experiments, like these side games that they do that aren't Pokemon, they're not full retail experiences. I don't think they've done one of those. Like they haven't put one of those out for full price. I think since Drill Dozer. So
Yeah,
it's probably. I mean, it may just be like a 10-hour game that they're hyping up now.
that's entirely possible because they haven't released too many games. I mean, there was like one for the PS4, maybe.
The Tembo the Badass
Yeah,
Elephant.
yeah,
They did the Giga Wrecker, which I think never got out of early access as far as I can recall. And then they had Pocket Car Jockey, and yeah, they did that. Although that was also like 2013, and they did Harmon Knight around the same time. So they tend to run through these experiments pretty quickly, but they usually end up on the right.
Yeah, I'm optimistic about it, but it's kind of feels too early to like determine how I like it so far. I'm optimistic about it.
That's good.
I don't really have any feelings toward it at this time.
Yeah.
You don't want to buy it right away, Justin?
I don't know. I mean, who knows? Who knows what'll happen?
Yeah.
Starlink officially reveals the rest of the Star Fox team in Wolf. Although I think to be fair, I think John Reardon kind of spotted that around Gamescom. So I don't know how much of that was new.
It was cool seeing them.
I think it's the first time we saw Wolf, but kind of knew it was happening.
Yeah, and he gets his own voice lines too, which is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
More on that. Well, I'm sure John will probably have something on that here very shortly. City Skylines, it's out right now. Early reports. Somebody in the chat was saying that they had the Mac version. It ran at 2 frames per second. You might get a little better on Switch because that game struggles even on like PS4 and Xbox One. But if it works out, it's a really good. It's probably the best city builder game come out in the last few years.
Yeah, it's like SimCity, right?
Yeah, you're building a city, and the Switch version you'll be able to do like view the city at night and also in the wintertime, so you avoid the town problem. Yeah, very nice to see. It's out right now. Word of warning: it is $40.
Oh boy!
But like I said, it also includes those 2 expansions, which I think were paid on PC and consoles.
Yeah.
And last but certainly not least, Katamari Damacy's back, baby. Katamari Damacy reroll, which will be out December the 7th. So we've got Namco for like 3 straight months starting in November with Taiko.
So is this a remake of something or a port of something, or is this something new?
I believe this is a remaster of the original 2004 PS4 game, or PS2 game.
Yeah.
Because I think that would make the first time that game has ever been on a Nintendo system.
Yeah, I believe so. I can't think of any other game, a Katamari Damacy game that's been on Nintendo systems.
Yeah. Is there anything on DS or anything? I don't remember.
I know we've got a profile for one. I don't know if that just never left Japan or if it just never released. Because I'm sure it was talked about, but it's nothing ever happened with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I played the original way long ago, and I liked it. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I played the original. I think I did end up beating it, but man, that last level was a real bear.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and is there anything that we missed that we need to talk about here, or shall we bring this puppy to a close?
I just like that Civ 6 is coming to the Switch.
Yeah, actually, yeah, because that came out after we recorded last week, and then the site got pulled because oops, that was supposed to be revealed in the Nintendo Direct.
Yeah, I've spent so many hours playing Civ 5, and Civ 6 is like a little bit tougher for me, but I mean, I'm looking forward to playing it on the Switch. That's a game that I can spend like hours on because a game can last for hours and hours on end. So that's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to playing that.
We got more footage on Yoshi's Crafted World. I think we mentioned that briefly. And that's coming out in spring, I think.
Yeah, spring 2019 for that, and yeah, nice to see that get a title and see that it's sort of improved because remember that was the weird situation where that game got shut off at E3 last year,
right,
on Treehouse Live, and then they went dark on it for about a year and a half.
Yeah.
Seems like they were reworking the ideas of what they wanted on there. Maybe
it's funny. When I watched the footage, I couldn't tell if they kept the mechanic of throwing the eggs traditionally. It looked like because the perspective was changing all the time, it looked like you selected things to throw eggs at rather than like have a cursor that bounces up and down. I could be completely wrong, but I couldn't really tell. So I'm wondering what that's going to look like.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I think that pretty much covers everything unless we want to. Yeah,
I think their 2019 is a little more reassuring compared to what people felt like for 2018.
Yeah, like because we have now confirmed we've got Fire Emblem, Yoshi, Animal Crossing, we got the
Luigi's
new Super Mario,
Mansion.
Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah,
and there's still the possibility of Metroid Prime 4, Bayonetta 3.
Yeah,
that's a pretty solid year, and that doesn't even count any.
For Nintendo.
And also the Pokemon game.
Oh yeah, there we go. I think 2019 for Nintendo is looking like they might be back at their 2017 pace again. Which holy crap!
Yeah, you have to.
That's a tough year to emulate.
I think that with that lineup, I would say that might be better than 2017.
And that's only what we know about so far.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's probably a lot we don't know about yet.
Yeah. So
we'll count out Mario Maker 2. That could always be a thing.
Give it what I kind of wish they would have done. Talked about on the show before. New Super Mario All Stars.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun.
What would be in a new Super Mario All Stars? Just the new games?
No, it'd be the DS, Wii, 3DS, and well, what became Deluxe. Like when we first heard about Deluxe, it's like, surprised this doesn't have the other ones in it.
You know what? You're right. Actually, because they're putting out Deluxe next year, they probably won't. They won't even touch Mario Maker.
Yeah. So that and there's still the open question of, are you going to do all of the construction work in Mario Maker with like a Joy-Con pointer?
Right.
Maybe Metroid Prime 4 next year. You don't know.
We don't know.
Because most people who played Mario Maker, I don't think they watched the TV when they were constructing things. I think they were looking at the Switch. So maybe
the Wii U. The Wii U screen?
The Wii U screen. Thank you. The gamepad. So I don't know. Maybe they do a Nintendo thing, and like if you're an online member, you can get like a special stylus as one of their rewards.
I feel like it'd be bundled with it just to make the creation easier for everybody who bought it.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's the 1 year. That's the 1 year where like they dangle that next year as like a free download if you bought a Nintendo Switch Online membership for 2 years.
Yeah, they did push special offers or something. Maybe that's one of them.
They said I looked into that, and they said that the special offers so far was just those controllers you could buy, and then there was like a Splatoon in-game outfit right now. But I'm sure there'll be more.
But guys, Nintendo Switch rewards are coming soon.
No, they converted all the gold coins into money off the Switch games. Like I got Final Fantasy Pocket Edition for like $8.
Oh, cool.
I need to check that. I mean, I've like ignored my Nintendo for like months, so I need to like go back and check and see what I have. I don't even know if I have anything anymore because I haven't spent anything.
Have you bought anything on the eShop? Because you still get your
yeah,
gold points that way.
Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. So I buy stuff, so I probably have something there.
Yeah, you've
Awesome.
probably. It's just what do you want to redeem it for? Because right now, admittedly you can get Tokyo Mirage Sessions for Wii U, which again, that's a game that should come to Switch.
Or Pikmin 3, you can get that game for $10 right now.
With a My Nintendo coupon.
With the My Nintendo thing, yep.
But my Wii U's in the closet, and I don't want to take it out.
Oh, also, they did a little highlight on Splatoon in the Direct, and I wasn't really for sure what that all entailed. I kind of had to do some digging. Seems like they're revamping how Splatfests are going to work.
Mm-hmm.
They're adding multipliers because that works so well in Fire Emblem Heroes.
Yeah, and there's going to be new weapons or weapon combinations or something, but that was a terrible trailer for that in the Direct. It was awful. I should have to go to a different website when I'm watching an information source to learn what you're trying to hold up.
Yeah.
And although thankfully they also did reveal that you're going to be able to team up with people easier. Like it'll be like you'll be able to join friends and stick together as a team for an entire Splatfest if it comes to it.
Well, can I just join up with my friends for Turf War yet, or is that still no? You're going to face each other. You can't have that.
I don't know.
Oh, I buy the game and I have to get through about 10 hours of playing hoops to play with my friends? Come on. That's not cool. And that's something that that's Splatoon's biggest problem, in my opinion, is with the day everybody bought that game, nobody could play with each other unless you were facing each other or just happened to luckily be on the same team.
Well,
then you look at other shooters like Fortnite and it's just like, oh, you're on a team now.
They now have a app where you can communicate your frustrations with each other.
You must have the same taste as your friends, or your friends have to be good people. In other words, to team up with them.
By the time you start talking to each other on the app, you're not going to be stating your frustrations about Splatoon's multiplayer. You're going to be stating the frustrations on the app. About the app.
We have firmly established that Nintendo's official voice chat is Skype or Discord.
Yeah.
The Nintendo World Report Discord only.
Precisely.
Where there are chat rooms where you can play with each other. Right here. Go to NintendoWorldReport.com. Click chat at the top of the page.
And go right into
the community of a lot. I want to say millions, but I'd be lying. We're almost there.
Yes, a community of a lot of like-minded individuals who are well into Nintendo games and will probably kick your butt at Splatoon 2 if given the opportunity.
Probably.
Yeah.
Not me though.
I guess we're wrapping up. I just want to say overall, I thought it was a good Direct, and it does have me hyped for Nintendo's future. And I can't wait for the SNES Joy-Con to come out next year.
Me too.
I'm gonna.
And then the N64 Joy-Con, so you can have like these three prongs.
Now you're talking.
Let's just have at it, guys.
And one of the launch games that'll be No Mercy, with some changes just because of the whole murder suicide thing.
Yeah.
Like having an N64 on each side of my Switch while docked would make it look like a piece of artwork rather than a console.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's bring it home here. Thank you very much everyone for watching and listening. Thank you to Brian, Justin, Neal, and Xander for joining us tonight. Brian can be found on Twitter at BR26. Do I have that right?
Yeah, that's right.
And you can also find him over at the Wrestling Observer website, f4wonline.com. He does some work there on the side.
Yeah, I'm a jack of all trades over there.
Yeah. Xander, where can people find you on the internet?
I'm on Twitter at Morning Shark, and I'm also on the YouTube channel Game of Thumbs.
All right. And Justin, of course, he is on Twitter at King Nintendo Fan, and the Instagram is King Nintendo Fanboy. Neal is on the Twitter as at Enron10, and you can also find him regularly doing video reviews on YouTube, and also all over our reviews section. And you can find me on Twitter at Nintendo_NWR. And also, please go to patreon.com/NWR to support the website that supports the show. There will be a rough cut of this episode actually up probably within the hour.
Cool.
Awesome. All right.
Thank you for having me on.
Thanks for coming out, Xander. Thanks for Brian. And we will try to have you back on later on. And Neal is back after. Neal, before we kill the call here, any final thoughts from you on the direct?
I'm really excited for Katamari, even if I feel like the series has had like they had Katamari Forever on PS3, which is kind of like a greatest hits of the series. There's part of me that would rather have that, but beggars can't be choosers. There hasn't been a new Katamari game in the traditional style since Katamari Forever, which I think was like 2011, 2010 maybe. So I'm stoked for a Katamari remake. And going over anything else on the direct. No, I think I'm good.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Virtual Boy Joy-Con.
Oh my God, no. Joy-Con.